Yes, there is a small amount of women that sell sex and that do not have coercion, whether it's physical coercion or whether it is poverty coercion, but that would really not be enough to satisfy the market that's there, and we really need to look like, as I said, again, we need to look at the whole picture.
You have a number of extremely active member states of the EU in their own capacity, through their own embassies and missions and with their own foreign policy establishment, and Ireland is obviously among them.
Wouldn't it be great if every child knew how to cook at least 5 basic main meals before they leave the education system? This should not be optional or controlled by exams. It should be seen as a basic life skills every child should know.
If I was to come along and offer you 20 extra points if you were passing a certain level on a bleep test when doing your leaving cert, what would your reaction be? Would you take those 20 points, or would you leave them sit by?
You spend far too much time election campaigning and not enough time in this House dealing with the kind of issues that you're getting elected to deal with in the first place. I was going to say it's a luxury we can't afford. It's not a luxury, obviously. You suffer under this so-called luxury.
Bring it on, please.
But you know what I'm driving at. It's something that has become an enormous cost to the country, and we cannot afford to bear that cost for much longer.
Canan gnáir nach 8 go 7 me der líne agus cheadú go sendú me der Facebook goháin gach mí. Tá fás chead faoin géad sa lóir frofiil éidir nach Facebook. Tá éidir ní nua ag dul líne is mé caint. Úsáid an 60 ceir faoin géad a rií óga nidlín nach choir na me an socialta.
It was quite funny because we went from a beards and sandals Dinny and Miley Glenroe type arrangement where they bought the half a dozen eggs in the local supermarket, brought them back to the farm to dunk them in a bit of dung and put feathers on them and resell them as organic and free range. And then on the other extreme you had people who were totally passionate about their food product to the extent that they became transfixed with the importance and the beauty and the love they had for the piece of cheese that they were making, and they were never able to get it to the store on time. I have to say, I'm happy to say that in the meantime, 99.99% of those Irish artisan producers have become uber efficient and uber professional in the manner in which they're doing their business, and we're delighted to be able to support them.
We start this consultation with open minds. If we get this right, we will have endeavoured to protect individuals and safeguard the potential of social media from those who seek to subvert it.
We've been engaging with communities, primarily in Belfast, in both nationalist and loyalist communities, and we hope to continue that work, and we intend going to Belfast on the 3rd and 4th of May, if I'm right, to go up again and engage with these communities, because if there are issues on the ground that need addressing, we intend to be there.
If you take that at the moment, that's the equivalent of about 25 billion of money being used in the black economy, and about 20% of that would be a tax take. So we come up with the figures somewhere in the region of 5.5 billion is the cost of the exchequer. But again, that doesn't take into account, when an illegitimate business undercuts businesses and puts them out of business as such.
You have said that whatever cash is needed will be made available to people through the DVO offices to ensure that they can feed their cattle or their sheep.
I said, just to be clear, we will intervene to make sure that their animals are fed. And we will pick up the cost of that.
This is the first occasion that an individual citizen comes before the committee to present a position, so we are particularly pleased that Mr Walsh made himself available to meet with us today. It's an important step in the development of a robust petitions process which places the citizen at the heart of our parliamentary system.
No one has to pay LPT before the 1st of January unless they choose to do so. Many taxpayers are telling us that they want this option, and the figures support that view. For those who don't want that option, there are 5 other ways to pay in 2014, providing both phased payment and single payment options. Again, the choice is with the taxpayer, but they have to tell us now.
Of the 42 responses received to date, 30 agencies have categorised themselves as compliant and 12 non-compliant. Of the 30 confirming compliance, it should be noted that 7 agencies are considered as being in compliance. 15 agencies indicated remuneration being paid which is not in compliance with the pay policy. 7 agencies were identified through the information provided to internal audit as paying non-compliant remuneration, and 1 agency submitted formal approval from the Department of Health for the non-compliant allowance being paid. To date, 1 agency has not yet responded.